Good morning and good afternoon, everyone. Thank you for joining us today on our second Ask the Expert call for our Microsoft Security Expert Program dedicated to support our top partners in their development towards building a cybersecurity practice with Microsoft. I'm excited to announce some of the guests that we have on this call. We've brought on a special partner, Bang Boom Cloud, and a partnership that we have with Pluralsight to talk to you through some of the supportive elements that we've brought into this program, not exclusively, but to all partners to help them achieve their Microsoft security targets. We have Dan Moore, who joins us from Bang Boom Cloud as the Modern Work Director, who's based in UK. And he's going to be walking us through how him and his team have been able to guide their customers through the security and compliance maturity and using Microsoft 365 Business Premium to simplify their services go to market with some of the service packed offerings that they've created in market. We also are joined by Ben Bernard, who is a channel sales executive at Pluralsight, where he's going to be going through and touching upon what is available on the plentiful Pluralsight platform and what partners will have access to as part of this program, where we're offering 2 licenses for you and your technical staff to move forward and achieve some of the Microsoft Cloud Partner Program competencies that are front of mind, especially with that transition as of October 3rd of this year. So before I pass it to Dan, I just want to go through, what are we doing to support our partners with their security journey? We know that building a cybersecurity practice can be pretty risky, especially for partners that are new to this. And depending on your maturity level, we have different routes to market to support our partners with their go-to-market in the aspects of, helping them do it through service augmentation, management of services like MDR or Managed Detection and Response, programmatic support like Microsoft Expert Program, which you're here today for, and technical training through Pluralsight. On our last call, we did bring a guest, QS Solutions, to talk about their cybersecurity scan, also called CSAT, and how through our Ingram Micro Center of Excellence teams, you can utilize them to deliver 2 free complimentary scans, whether quick or full, to customers of your choice to show through real-time data from their on-premises or cloud infrastructure, what are the security gaps that are evident and what is the best movement forward in terms of next steps, whether it's a product upgrade of their Microsoft Security Suite or Productivity Suite, or some of the next steps in terms of service deployments that are needed to cover those gaps and security risks. Today, we're bringing in, again, guests from Bang Boom Cloud and Pluralsight to talk a little bit deeper about the Microsoft 365 security implementation services and how partners can outsource some of the deployment services available within Business Premium to either shadow and learn first through a partner like Bang Boom Cloud, or utilize them as a way to help support some of the pipeline of activity that customers are wanting to, purchase Business Premium and start deploying those security facets. We also have Pluralsight today, who's talking about the Pluralsight platform and how initially those licenses that are set up, what can you do and more with some of the certification paths that are available on their platform. And then eventually on our last call, which is happening on December 7th, we're bringing in an expert, a service provider around Managed Detection and Response, and how these services will be available to partners through Cloud Marketplace. So with that, I'm going to pass it to our lovely guest, Dan, and I will let him take it off.
Fantastic. Thank you, Brianna, for that. And good morning, good afternoon for everybody. As I said, excited to have this opportunity to talk to you a little bit this morning about how we've done our sort of drive towards security and compliance packs in terms of our journey, where we came from and where we are now, as well as obviously how we can help you directly with this in terms of the partner to partner piece. So explain a little bit about sort of why we did this, you know, where our approach came from, because I think it tells a good story in terms of why we did it, and I think hopefully they should hopefully share a little bit more with yourselves in terms of why you should be looking at this as well in terms of your journey. Start at the beginning really in terms of back in 2020, Business Premium was released by Microsoft in terms of that collection of licenses under one SKU, and we saw the opportunity there in terms of helping our customers get the benefit out of that new SKU. Some of them didn't know where to go in terms of some of these security features, and basically we quickly came up with our sort of fixed priced, fixed scope packs. For us, this was a very quick and easy way to talk to our customers about things that were pressing to them, whether they knew it or not. Some customers obviously were highly aware of security issues and wanted to talk to us, and some of them obviously they needed a little bit of guidance from us in terms of why they should be thinking about these topics. But for us, really, we were able to quickly transition a lot of our customers from Business Standard up to Business Premium. So much so that Microsoft kind of appreciated us greatly that year in terms of we were recognised as the top growth partner here in the UK with you know 271% growth across our estate up to Business Premium, and they very graciously recognised us at Inspire as well in terms of our approach and a case study. But for us, it was really about making that a quick and easy sale for our account managers and our sales team to talk to our clients about it. And then we could quickly transition that to delivery. Really, fixed price, fixed scope meant that we didn't have to have long, lengthy scoping sessions with the customer. We could sort of very quickly sort of start to talk about what we were going to do, what was going to be next for them. Kind of continuing with the why is, you know, why should we all think about these compliance packs in terms of that? As I said, for us, it started in terms of the unlocking the license revenue, getting the customers onto these higher cost per head SKUs, but also why do it, you know, with us or yourselves in terms of a pack approach, delivering sort of de-risking the delivery of these security and compliance packs is, I mean, it's key, and it was key for us as well in terms of, like I say, because we weren't scoping these conversations, and because through our approach you don't need to scope them either, they're relatively low risk due to the constraints of the constraints of what we're applying and what we're delivering to the customer. And as Brianna said at the upset here, the whole part of reason behind this call is to, you know, to raise awareness of how we approached it, and we can help upskill your team, you know, through shadowing in terms of that, but also in terms of we can be there to support where you've not quite got the capacity to deliver all of this to your client base in terms of you know, demand and response, etc. We're very able to sort of slide into your work stream and help support these packs to the customers. And of course, for us, it's, you know, increased revenue off the Microsoft SKU is key for everybody, but also for us is we found is that when customers are using more out of those SKUs and those licenses, there's a perceived value. In fact, it's not perceived; it's a very real value for them using more out of those. And if they're getting more value out of something that they're paying for every month, they're less likely to jump ship, to look at other products, and to leave this. You know, when they're paying for one license that kind of does everything for them, and they're happy with that, you know, why would they move? For us also, I think this is a useful thing to just very briefly need to touch upon in terms of how we sort of saw the opportunity, and again, this should work for you as well in terms of your sort of client approach. I think that, yeah, the slide's got slightly old pricing on into the pricing piece, but I think the increase is still the same. We lifted all our customers from Business Standard to Business Premium as part of our sort of approach with these packs. You know, 60% increase in license revenue was nothing to be sniffed at in terms of our department and our growth. And we found that about a third of our clients made the move very easily, very quickly in terms of wanting to take advantage of the Business Premium SKU. And our packs allowed us to deliver this. So, you know, the bottom of the slide just goes to show a little bit of how we did that in terms of number of clients that we we were able to sort of uplift and migrate, which sort of gave us quite a healthy increase in our sort of license costs. But also in terms of the PAC revenue, you know, that was professional services that we were delivering and that we can help deliver if this is, you know, being used for your client base. You know, nothing to be sniffed at, and, you know, helped us get where we are. For us, also big approach around this in terms of why, you know, and I said the why in terms of who we're approaching and what's a good fit. The security compliance packs for us specifically are targeted at SMB. SMB we see as up to 300 seats, which fits perfectly with Business Premium, obviously, because of the 300 seat limit there. It's not to say that the packs won't fit if someone's sort of self-building their licenses, if they're using EMS or Active Directory P1. But for us, this whole market fitted Business Premium in terms of a single SKU. It's easy for the customers to understand that they're paying for one license, you know, one license per person. That's Business Premium. It gives them all the features they need rather than, you know, you having to stack different licenses on. The what obviously is our packs, which I'll come on to in a minute in terms of, you know, what our packs are consisted of, in terms of how we can help you deliver these to your customers, and, you know, how you might take a similar approach with your own. As Brianna said again at the outset, is, you know, do we help you with the first couple of deployments so you learn and understand how the approach might work for your client base with our support, and then do it yourself? Are we there to help, you know, when there's too much demand, etc.? These are all nice things. Couple of quick bullet points on there as well in terms of the target base in terms of Microsoft customers. For us, so a lot of opportunity in E3 customers. Customers are on the slightly more expensive license because they needed it for multi-user activation on RDS or terminal servers. Could swap those over. Customers who are using Active Directory P1 or ATP or Endpoint, etc., they're using other services that they're adding on to a base SKU. Again, consolidate those down, show those cost savings or show those values. And that sort of moves me on nicely to sort of the next slide, which is a kind of a value proposition. Sorry, too far. A value proposition slide in terms of, again, this is a great slide that we use a lot with our customers in terms of showing the value of Business Premium. Each one of these points here is a service that hopefully a customer is aware of, or if not, we can make them aware of. And if they've got a service like, you know, they're using Mimecast or something in terms of doing the email filtering, we can show them where they can make a cost saving by moving over to the all-inclusive value SKU of Business Premium. Or actually, again, in some cases, customers, you know, didn't have any of these services. So rather than a cost saving play, it was a benefit play. You know, you haven't got these features yet already, so let's move to this license SKU for you to protect you, keep you extra safe, keep the business running, etc., and keep the lights on. And this is how we're going to do it. We're going to do it with packs. So this is kind of our, you know, the what. I've mentioned previously that we do our packs. This is you know, how our approach worked really well for us in terms of bundling services together in sort of quick, easy, pick off the shelf packs. Pack one for us, identity management, pretty simple for our sales guys to talk about in terms of, are they keeping their identity safe? What are they using for MFA at the moment? You know, how is everything sort of branded in terms of logon? So the packs, this slide details specifically with what we deliver as part of those packs, but obviously this transitions and works parallel in terms of the problem that you're solving. You know, password self-service and reset obviously deals with the issue of users being at home and having to reset their own passwords. So, you know, we've got an answer for that. Conditional access and MFA, obviously keeping data secure, stopping phishing attacks and password harvesting approaches. That's kind of what pack one details. Pack two, advanced threat protection. Again, this is using everything that's in Business Premium SKU in terms of safe links, ATP, making sure devices are quarantined in terms of enrollment, etc., as well as sort of keeping email safe with the anti-phishing and SPF. And again, like I say, this links for us very nicely in terms of keeping a customer safe, keeping their estate and Office 365 secure, so they're not being attacked and inconvenienced by phishing attacks and harvesting attacks and things like that. Again, fixed price, fixed scope. We're going to deliver all of these in a simple pack, simple scope for you. It's going to deliver and fix a number of issues. Pack 3 and Pack 4, which are coming on to now, they're slightly more technical in terms of what problems they're solving and what we're actually delivering. But Pack 3 for us, data loss prevention. It's an interesting one in terms of the SMB space. It's not all customers are thinking about how they keep their data safe and what it means to them, but we found this was a great starting point in terms of this is what we're going to do for you. This is why you need to be thinking about that. So again, using the features within Business Premium for stopping data leakage and using data loss prevention, and also AIP, Azure Information Protection, in terms of classifying and labeling data so it's not leaked. So we're using sensitivity labels there to make sure that data that's important to the business is retained within the business. Right, Pack 4, I say final one, kind of split across 2 slides this, but is one pack and one deployment here. Device security, so again tackles really the customer demands to, again, keeping data secure in terms of what devices it's on, but also keeping devices secure. So we start with Intune Mobile, which is obviously approaching the customer concern and customer need for something to secure their mobile devices, whether that's iOS or Android. So controlling the data on those devices, so preventing data leakage, allowing us to encrypt data on those devices, whether or not they're fully enrolled into corporate or whether or not they're just personal devices and accessing corporate data. It then moves on, Pack 4, nicely to within the same thing, is actually managing the actual sort of full fat devices, so Windows devices. So again, just using Intune within Business Premium to manage corporate devices. You know, have we got BitLocker enrolled? Are we starting to look at Autopilot to keep those devices nice and secure? Controlling the access to certain folders, so a bit of attack surface reduction in terms of using Defender, but also again being able to sort of remotely wipe those devices. And I say all of these packs together, you know, help a customer to really get the value out of all of the extra features and licenses that come in that Business Premium SKU when they uplift. And this is how we package them. As I said, they're fixed scope, and because they're fixed scope, we're able to offer a fixed price on them. So this is our pricing in terms of what we talk to our clients. We've got US dollar pricing on here, and I'll come on to some other slides in a second that share a bit more, but this is how we deliver it for a customer. Again, it's very easy. We're not having to have a long, complicated scoping conversation with them about, you know, what do they want to do about advanced threat protection, what features do they want to turn on. You know, we take the approach that constructively we're the experts. You know, we're in the IT business, we're a Microsoft Gold partner, and this is what we think you should have turned on. These are the features that will keep you safe and keep you operating. So therefore, these are what you need as the entry to do those. And in fact, these are the prices and the fixed scope, fixed price that we use to deliver it. So then finally, like I say, it's kind of how really is how do we help you deliver this? How, you know, how can you learn more about this? Obviously, we do this all through the marketplace. We do it all through the Ingram marketplace in terms of how you can get there, and there's some enablement in there in terms of extra material and what we do. But currently, there's a 20% discount on in terms of if you buy all 4 packs from us, as well as a bit of a launch offer in terms of how you can leverage more from it. And this is actually how you can find us as well in terms of we're in the marketplace. On there is the markets that we're currently available in terms of CMP, so you can sort of find us in there, reach out and buy the products directly from there, and we can help. What's next, really? Like I say, is just really just a bit of a close and a bit of an intro from me, really, to open up in case there are any questions of how I can share any more around how we built our approach, how our approach might help you in terms of you can say the P2P piece in terms of us helping support you deliver to your clients. Yeah, just open it from there, really.
Awesome. So, Dan, I'll read off a few of the questions that we've gotten through our Q&A. We have one question here. Does the fixed scope pricing include all of the end user support when enrolling users and devices? What about training users and features?
Yeah, so it does include all of those. There are, I think, on packs 3 and 4, there are some caveats just ever so slightly on some of the device enrollment. Essentially, we deliver it as a pack to enroll all those devices, but there's an element of we show you how to do it, or if there's extra resources, because obviously there might be a number of devices that need enrolling that we can't manage in terms of the quantity. But in terms of the training piece, specifically in terms of end users, that's all included in the pack. We provide all of the how-to guides, all of the enrollment guides. For us, that's a key part to a successful project. Not only letting people know what we're doing and why we're turning it on, but more importantly, their experience. MFA might be new to some users, so it's very important they know how to install the app, provide that, and the same with device encryption and things like that. This is we supply that all as part of the packs and part of the scope.
And generally, how does Bang Boom Cloud come in as an extension of the partner that is engaging in this service? Is it usually white labeled, or do you come in as your own? What is the experience for the partner and their customer?
Yeah, like I say, we have two approaches, really. For us, we do prefer to come in as a trusted partner and come in under our own name in terms of Bamboom. We're there to help deliver a pack, and then that's it. We step back out. We can deliver white label. White label just needs a little bit more work in terms of how we can access an end user's tenant. GDAP and delegated admin access obviously needs a little bit of planning in terms of we can't get away from our technicians using our Bamboom tenant to access a customer and partner, but we can make it work. We just have to do it via an administrative account or some other mechanism. But all of our material that we do as part of our packs and things like that can quite easily be white labeled. We can share that to drop your own brand in. And use it like that rather than ours. And of course, obviously, you'd want to do that anyway for some of these things, because you'd want to refer them back to your service desk and your support information if they have any problems or questions post-incident.
Yeah, and I think that's a good segue to this next question about, with GDAP coming into effect, right? What is, in essence, the process from a Bang Boom Cloud in setting up those rights for you and your team to get the work done? And then, a further question from that is partner of record, right? Who is the partner that takes the assignment on the customer's tenant for the deployment of these services?
Yeah, no, great question. So GDAP, very simply, is that we will produce the GDAP link to give us access to the client's tenant to the resources that we need. So GDAP's great in terms of controlling access, but we do need quite a lot of rights in terms of configuring Azure Active Directory. But GDAP allows us to come in under a time constraint benefit. So we'll produce a link that will expire and remove our access after a certain predefined amount of time. So we're able to come in, deliver the work, and then exit. And in terms of partner records, that remains with the end partner. We're not supplying the licenses. Those licenses are supplied by the current incumbent. Yes, we're helping you configure those licenses and helping that client and the partners make the most of those. But for us, it's a simple exercise in and out. So we'll leave partner record to you. And like I say, once the GDAP link has expired, we have no further access to the tenant, and nor do we need access. So yeah, that's how we work and how we prefer to work.
Amazing. And then 2 quick questions, languages that you operate in.
Yeah, certainly. So currently we're only English at the moment, I'm afraid. So English speaking territories is our forte. That's not to say that we're expanding into Germany at the moment in terms of that. So we'll have German on our remote moment, but at the moment, yeah, English speaking languages only, I'm afraid, is where we're able to help.
Amazing. Polished British English.
Yes.
And then last question here, how fast can you start the services once they're purchased on our cloud marketplace?
Yeah, again, great question. As always, it depends on availability of our resources. We are prepared and skilled in terms of a very quick turnaround. Typically, I like to set the expectation with any engagement of, around 2 weeks before we can start. Real terms is we hope to be starting an engagement within 1 week in terms of actually starting the work. And the packs themselves are designed to be delivered very quickly. So typically, we find that we will have delivered a pack within a week. I mean, typically they're a few days worth of effort from us, but that's spread out over the space of a week or potentially longer, because obviously there's some client actions and there's some proof of concept groups for some of those packs where we're turning on MFA, etc., and things like that. But yeah, from purchase to actually sort of starting the engagement will happen very quickly. To actually sort of getting a consultant, one of our guys actually technically making changes, 1 to 2 weeks is a good expectation for the quickest that we can turn around in. Obviously, we can then work with you in terms of anything longer than that, in terms of when you want us to start.
Awesome. Maybe I'll let you finish your slide deck on how to engage your team if they have any other questions that weren't addressed on this call.
Yeah, no, certainly. So, yeah, you could say, my name's Dan Moore. You can reach out to me directly if you find me on LinkedIn, or alternatively, like I say, the address on there, hello@bambooncloud.com, is our sort of our generic sales address that gets to a big team of us, where it makes sure that any questions or queries get dealt with and handed on to the right person. So, yeah, if anyone's got any questions or queries, drop me a line via that email on screen. Happy to help. Or, of course, obviously, you'll find us on the cloud marketplace.
Thank you so much, Dan.
No worries. Thank you.
Great. So now switching topics to our second guest, we have Pluralsight joining us to talk about their platform and just how partners in this program can utilize Pluralsight to advance in their Microsoft Cloud Partner Program competency and skilling. I'm going to quickly, before we jump to Ben to do a demo, I want to quickly just overview the Microsoft Cloud Partner Program. And just review some of the requirements that have changed over as of October 3rd. So, just recently, Microsoft has actually changed and simplified their partner program, simplifying the number of silver and gold designations available to now 6 from the previous 19 that they've had in the past. And based on the implementation of the MCPP and what is required for partners, since that day has passed of October 3rd, partners that are upcoming in their renewals for their Microsoft partner account will actually need to see the specific designation and skilling requirements to keep and retain their benefits that they've generally held with a silver or gold competency in this 19 that were in the past. To ease these solution designations, a total of 70 points are needed to be earned through various metrics around performance, skilling, customer success, where this slide can give you an example of what that does look like for the example of business applications, modern work, security, and infrastructure, data and AI, and digital and apps innovation, which is bunched under Azure. And so as you can see, each different solution designation does hold a different point value that can accumulate towards the 70 points that are needed, with 100 points between the 3 categories that are available for partners to achieve. So as you can see, the ones that are in question and the ones that we're pushing our partners in the Microsoft Expert Program to achieve is specific around the modern work and security, where for modern work, available points available for this designation is at 25, split between intermediate and advanced, and 40 points for security. right? So just to overview, what are the requirements that are required for modern work? To achieve the SMB status within modern work, a total of 2 individuals will actually need to get intermediate certified for certifications as easy as the Microsoft 365 fundamentals, the MS 900, or other ones that are concerning around Teams and Windows and other certifications under there. Where it gets a little bit more complex is around the advanced certifications, where in order to achieve this and get the maximum of 15 points in this category, one individual will actually need to complete a prerequisite of an exam like a Microsoft 365 Security Administrator or MS 500, and have the exams of MS 100 and MS 101 complete. So the total points, again, that are available for modern work are 25 points, but a majority of where the effort comes in is around the advanced certifications, which I'm going to point to on Pluralsight as what's available to help you with this. Secondarily, for security, if this is something that you're pushing forward towards, the scaling requirements are a lot larger in respect to the modern work competencies, where it's more focused on intermediate certifications. So for this one, a total of 6 individuals will actually need to be both certified in MS 500, the Security Administrator Associate, and AZ 500, the Security Engineer for Azure, plus at least one of the additional certifications around security and compliance, whether it's the SC 200 for security operations, SC 300 for Identity and Access Administrator, or SC 400, which is Information Protection Administrator. So there's a lot to achieve in terms of skilling. This is one of the larger requirements as part of this program, and so I would love to talk more about Pluralsight and give you a deep dive of what the platform experience looks like and what we've curated in terms of paths to help you either achieve the modern work certification or the security certification based on the goals that you've set with your business development manager as part of this program. So I'm going to move into what that looks like from a license provisioning, right? So we're asking all partners in this program to actually fulfill a Microsoft Forms link, where we're going to be asking you to designate the technical engineers, both 1 and 2, of who you would like to provide access to for Pluralsight. Once this is complete, we're asking for about 3 to 4 days, and generally it will be less than that amount of time for us to provision the license for your technical staff and get you on the Pluralsight platform. But once you're on, the experience looks like so. So this is the skilling Pluralsight page where you'll get access to as part of a benefit of this program. And under channels, when you do log in, you're able to see that there's 5 different certification tracks that are available for you to move forward. 3 of them are specific to sales enablement, but 2 of them are specific to technical track enablement. And similarly to the way that I was talking about what is required for MCPP status, we've also built out what is required in the fundamental certification that's required, giving you access to on-demand training for MS 900, and what is required from a security focused track, giving you access to on-demand training for MS 500 and SC 300, and additionally some of the advanced training that are available for MS 100 and 101. We also have the same experience for partners that are looking at security, right? So with this one being more advanced, there are on-demand video trainings that are available for MS 500, AZ 500. Again, 6 individuals will need to go through both of these to be able to qualify for that certification path. And then 1 additional exam of your choice between the SC 200, 300, and 400. So that's just to give you an example of what the experience looks like once your technical staff are up to speed, they have their license provisioned. I'm going to pass the torch to Benjamin to go through a little bit deeper about the Pluralsight platform and what more is offered apart from these certification tracks regarding Microsoft.
Thanks, Brianna, and thanks everyone for your time. We're excited about our partnership, and we certainly want to dive into what Pluralsight is at large. Brianna's done a really good job showing how we have built content specific to help Ingram partners skill up and certify. So part of the program, and she's already mentioned this, is you get 2 licenses for anyone that fills out that form as part of the MS Expert program. Those are for 2 technicians. 1 license lasts 12 months. And it's 1 license per user. So we certainly want to provide that, and Ingram's doing that for you to provide at least for 2. And the best way I can kind of give an analogy here, a picture is, you know, I live in North Carolina, and right now it's fall and the leaves are falling everywhere in my yard, right? I have to go out and I have to use my blower or my lawnmower. And if you're familiar with the engines, right, you press this little primer pump, right? And the primer pump gets the gas in the lines, allows you to crank it up, right? I kind of envision these 2 licenses as that primer methodology, right? We're priming it, we're getting you stood up, but overall, once the engine's up and running, what Pluralsight is really driving to, and what Ingram is driving to, is workforce transformation at large for your organization. Certainly, we know vendors change certification paths, right? I've been in the business for over 10 years, and Microsoft and many other vendors change what is required. I know that can be a pain point, but it's a requirement. So we're going to help you overcome that and get those certifications. But beyond that, we want to help your organization, if it's something you're pursuing, transform at large. And that involves skilling everyone at your org, right? That's more than just a 2 technicians or 6 technicians get a certification. How do you, as a partner, make sure your team, whether it's sales, whether it's technical, you know, whether it's even HR and finance, how do you make sure everyone at your team, at your organization, has the skill set they need to be successful and to capture revenue? You know, a recent stat I saw from Gartner was by this time next year, $30 billion of revenue will exist with services that did not exist before COVID. Let me say that again. This time next year, there will be $30 billion of new revenue that comes from new services that did not exist before COVID, right? That's a large number, $30 billion. How are you as a partner going to tap into that? We fundamentally believe that you need to upskill your organization, right? And get beyond just the checking of the box of the cert. That's important. We provide that for you. In fact, 93% of folks who take our training on our platform pass their exam, right? So a 9 out of 10 pass rate is pretty good because we have practice exams and things like that. But overall, and what I'm going to show you here is our platform at large. So certainly dive in, get what you need for the MCPP program. Everything's here already curated for you. You don't have to go searching for it. But I want to share my screen here for a bit if I can, and show you what our platform looks like at large, and then we'll open it up for some questions if you have any. Pull this up for you. All right. So, you know, once you log into your plan and you see the security tracks, you're also going to see these options on your top left, right? You'll see a home page. You'll see a browse page. Let's just show what the platform is. And before I do this, one thing you'll get the flavor and the sense of here is that Pluralsight is not an online library. We're not a LMS. We are a workforce transformation, and keyword would be tool. We're a tool. We're a platform that shows you visibility across your organization of your gaps with your skills and where you need to train to fill those. We're very prescriptive in what we do. We're not going to send folks through a beginner level content. If they already have that knowledge, they're going to pick up where they are, and I'll show how that works in a bit. But our platform is built around engagement and upskilling at large. So let's go and look at our catalog real quick, and you'll see some, you know, over 7,500 courses, right, that we have access to, that you would have access to. Business professional, things within the cloud, data, machine learning, languages, and all these things, IT ops. Let's look at security here for a bit, because I know that's a big thing, right? So if we go to security, and just for an example, we can go to CompTIA, right? So if you're diving into security, I'm sure you're aware of CompTIA and what is needed from a security perspective, right? We have all of their CompTIA. We're a CompTIA partner. We have all of their training on our platform, right? So we can continue to upskill from a CompTIA perspective. So if we go back to browse and I click on CompTIA, it's going to show you everything we have within that platform, within that learning path, right? We've got it spelled out for you of what you would need. Now it's going to do that in different areas for you from a certification perspective, right? But let's take a step back here, and I want to show you really the nuts and bolts of what our platform does. Because as you dive in, we want you to get the best return on your investment, on your return on spending time. A really, really important feature of our platform is called Skill IQ. So I'm going to click on Skill IQ and show you what this looks like. We have over 450 of these. And essentially what Skill IQ is, let's just go to cloud, since that's what we're talking about. And we can click on, why don't we do app dev on Microsoft Azure just to see, right? You can click on this, and I'm not going to take the assessment, but it's going to allow any of your employees to assess themselves and do a quick assessment of where they land within a certain tech stack, right? So if you go back here, you're going to have all these that you can choose from, right? And we're not going to roll through all of them, but essentially what Skill IQ does is it starts you as a user kind of with an intermediate level question, and based on how you do, it's either going to ask you easier questions or harder questions, and at the end of it, it's going to give you a score. All right, you landed at beginner, you landed in intermediate, you landed in advanced. If you land at intermediate, the nice thing about this platform, it does not ask you to go back and do all the beginner content. It starts where you need it and moves you to advance, right? So Skill IQ is a really important piece of our platform that each one of you should take advantage of, and your employees should take advantage of. Building upon Skill IQ, we're going to show real quickly Role IQ. Role IQ is a bunch of Skill IQs combined, and the best way I can show you this is, let's go to the Microsoft Azure Security Engineer Role IQ. Let's say that you in particular, as a partner, you want to focus on this area. You want to upskill your employees in this. You want to upskill an engineer. Well, what do they need to do to get current, to stay current, to be updated? Microsoft Azure Security Engineer Role IQ is going to require them to take assessments. Then it's going to tell them what they need to do to fill those gaps, right? The questions they missed, the content they need. And here's the nice thing about you as an administrator on the plan. You can assign this role to anyone in your organization. So let's say John Smith is in your organization. You want to assign it to him. You want him to upskill. You assign it to him, enter his email address. He's going to get provisioned automatically this role, right? And how he can then upskill. Any questions thus far? I've got one more thing I want to show, but I certainly want to stop for a bit and see if there's any questions on what we've gone over so far. All right. So we talk about a lot about digital transformation, right? Upskilling. We know that training oftentimes is something that's painful. It's something that we kind of push to the end, right? And we do it when we have to. But as you know, and as Ingram knows, in fact, I was at one of their events last week. Training can no longer be something you just push aside. Certification certainly is something you have to do, but you more than ever, with all the digital disruption and transformation, your employees need to understand the trends, the topics, and if you will, the tech foundations, right, in the industry. So we have built a solution, a product called Tech Foundations. We actually built this with Accenture. Accenture is our largest go-to-market partner. They have over 500,000 licenses deployed internally. Anyone that Accenture brings on board, no matter their role, no matter if they're in HR, finance, tech, is required to roll through Tech Foundations. And the reason they do that And the reason we built it and now we're going to market is because we fundamentally believe that everyone at the organizational level, if they want to drive change, if they want to stay current, stay relevant, everyone at the organization needs to understand these topics at a really high level, right? You know, you've got people that have heard of cloud computing at your organization, but they have no idea how it affects your business. Why does it matter? What does it do for us? You know, what if you could get them all aligned and understanding the importance of cloud and what it is at a high level? So let's click on Cloud Computing Explained, and you'll see I've completed 3 of these, right? And you'll have this view as well. But cloud computing, if I click on this, it's going to give me 2 options. I can either dive into the class, it's 57 minutes long, and then I can take an assessment, or perhaps I think I know more than I really do, right? And I try to take the assessment. It's going to allow me to either fail or pass. Now, I took the video first, and I passed the assessment, but some of you on this call could take this and pass it with no problem. But think about everyone at your organization, right? To consume a 57-minute class, take a quick assessment, and it shows proficiency. Now, John Smith in HR or whoever it is in finance understands why leaders keep talking about cloud and why it's important. Any questions about tech foundations in general?
Hey, Ben, we actually got some questions from the last time you paused. So 2 questions here. Can we, as a partner, integrate existing Pluralsight subscriptions with Ingram now that it's available?
Yeah, really good question. I'm not an architecture on the back end, but let me find out. I honestly don't know the answer. So first of all, it's good, right, that people know about us and they have a subscription. But ideally, yes, we would like to align and figure out how we can integrate that. But I don't know. I'll have to get back to Brianna and we can let you know.
Okay, yeah, we'll follow up. Second question is, can you give an example of an existing MSP using your platform and how, for example, they're using it internally or potentially externally to their customers?
Yeah, sure can. Got a few MSPs. I really want to use their names per se, but there's a few MSPs we're working with through Ingram. There's other resellers that we worked with in the past, 3 or 4 years that use and consume our services, in particular around skills. So what they do is they purchase 100 licenses to start with, right, for the organization, or maybe 50, whatever makes sense, and then they consume our platform. And now let me click on analytics because this is important for you to see. The value of the tool, and this speaks to your question. Everyone can log in. Whoever's an administrator can log in and see which employee is upskilling, what topics are being consumed, and is this really returning an investment, or are we just throwing money at another platform, another library? Our tool shows this at large. Now, I'm on a really small plan. It's not going to show a lot, but most of the time with some of these, you'll see engaged users in the hundreds, right? It's going to show you how many assessments they've done. It's going to show you their skill growth. And down here at the bottom is going to show you kind of what they're consuming, who at your organization is consuming it, and what in particular are they consuming. So let's just use Accenture, for instance, or another MSP. MSP is going to be a smaller scale, but the same model. They consume our services, use our platform, upskill their employees, and then once they do that, then they go to market, right, with our platform, because we all know end customers have the same needs, right? They go to market with our platform and they wrap services around what our platform does. That's Accenture's model, right? So as you think about how to scale and how to grow this, not only internally for your own consumption, think about how you can then go to market with an educated workforce, right? An upskilled workforce, your own team, and then go to market with your customers to meet those same needs and help capture what is needed from a learning and education perspective. Does that answer your question?
I believe so, yes. And, just another question about like adding licenses to what Ingram is currently providing, the 2 licenses to get partners started. What is the cost perspective for partners to keep adding on users? Are there any special deals that are available?
Yeah, Brianna, I believe you were going to show what that looks like on the marketplace.
Yeah.
Because we
let
are
me just-
live on the marketplace, and it would show them what the cost is to add a license.
Yes, here. Do you see my screen? Maybe?
Not yet. Now we do. So there we are, right? We're onboarded into the marketplace. A question came up on the previous called Bam Boom Cloud, I believe. What a good name, by the way. And we are going global. We're launched in Germany already. I believe Spain is next. And then France. We are live in the US, but I believe there's 15 to 20 regions we're going to go. So anyway, all that to say, right now we're currently live within the US cloud marketplace. This is how you would transact. So there are discounts. Your discount's 25% off list price. So you can either consume internally. We also have a SKU for if you're going to resell it to the customer. Regardless, your price is the same. Obviously, what you do to the end customer is up to you, but your price is always going to be the same, whether you're consuming for yourself or going to market with your customer. And
I love it.
let's say that you have a plan, you're 3 months into your plan, and you want to add 5 licenses, you've got 5 people you want to add to the plan. What we'll do is we'll add them to your existing plan and prorate that, right? They won't pay the 12-month fee, they'll pay the 9-month fee, right? So we'll figure that out. That's how our model works, because we don't want to create 10 different plans for one organization.
We have some comments that say, loving this platform, already passed my SC900 yesterday, leveraging the Pluralsight training and practice tests. So there's a lot of kudos already coming through for those that do have access to the platform today.
Yeah, I'm not surprised, right? I joined the team, so I've been in the channel space for over 10 years selling education. I joined Pluralsight in June, and the reason I joined is because of the robust offering they have and the quality of their platform and what it does for an organization, right? So I'm not surprised to hear it. I think the more you engage, the more impressed you'll be, the more actually you'll say, wow, this is really helpful to my business. This is not just a library. I can actually see what's happening. I can assign this, I can do that, and I can transform my organization from an upskilling perspective. Yeah, so glad to hear that. And just for reference, across the hyperscalers, so if you throw AWS, Azure, Google, they have over 80,000 licenses for their own internal employees. So hyperscalers themselves use us to train their own employees, right? So we're current, we're updated, our platform is robust. So we're confident that we can certainly help.
Love that. All right. Thank you so much, Ben.
Sure.
With the last 5 minutes of this call, I just want to quickly go through some of the different milestones required for us to complete kind of what is for the November month, right? So hopefully you can see my screen. There's 4 things that we're really asking our partners to follow up as activities after this call. The first thing first is to schedule that business plan with your dedicated customer success manager, hopefully getting that done before the end of this month. And in that call, really go through the goals of what you're trying to do in terms of MCPP status achievement, naming the goals of what you want to achieve in terms of customer upsell, potential revenue, and customer share. Naming those 2 technical engineers that you'd love to pass those Pluralsight licenses to and filling in that Microsoft Forms. And then from that point on, obtaining your complimentary exam vouchers. We do have 2 exam vouchers per partner available. They will expire before December 31st, so it's best that you preemptively book, even if it's as far out as March 31st, right? So make sure that you take those steps to really gather the licenses, the exam vouchers that you need as part of the milestones. And then lastly, scheduling a customer opportunity with our Center of Excellence to perform those cybersecurity scans. Again, this is complimentary. We have Center of Excellence teams in both EMEA, North America, and APAC. and they're ready, dependent on the customer that you bring forward, to deliver either a quick scan, and in some regions even a full scan, so that you can quantify the benefits of, leading with security by uncovering some of the gaps within their infrastructure, both on a cloud side as well as a core side, through your on-premises infrastructure. So I'm going to leave that there. I did have some questions about presentation decks, recording. We will be sending a consolidated email with these steps, plus the recording and the deck that you are seeing today. So feel free to share with that to any of your staff or colleagues that weren't able to attend the live call. But thank you so much for your time, and we really look forward to seeing you on our last call on December 7th. So with that, thank you so much.